The Magical Beast Division led by Commander Gradim, numbering some 30,000 troops, took to the skies in their airships. The sight of Velgryn's valor had kept morale high, and with the enemy right below them, they had a perfect target to exercise their violent impulses on. Listen up, all of you. His Excellency and Lady Velgrynd are personally on hand to catch sight of your exploits. You had best not disappoint them today. I want each and every one of you to be ready to fight. The officers and men serving Gradim responded to his shouted speech with a roar that shook the atmosphere. Gradim liked to see it. It was the perfect opportunity, he thought as he smiled to himself. Ha ha ha. Maybe the world is no longer mine for the taking, but there's no doubt that my moment in the sun is here. Caligulio is defeated, and that boy Yuki has failed. I will be the only general left, the greatest of field commanders, and if I perform well in this battle, that's exactly what I'll be. From Gradim's point of view, the Western nations weren't enough of an enemy to trounce. Hinata Sakaguchi looked like she put up more of a fight, but he still chided her as a half-wit who couldn't manage anything more than a draw against a newly minted demon lord. Gradim had boundless confidence, and he had the hard-nosed fighting experience to back that up. Gradim the Beast King, the Empire's second-in-command, was once a prince of Eurasania and a half-brother of Carrion. Passed over for the throne due to his selfish nature, the White Tiger Lycanthrope murdered his father in a fit of rage. Banished by Carrion and the three Lycanthropeers, he fled his homeland, fueled by a delusional grudge. Now, armed with exceptional strength and his loyal three generals, Gradim awaits the day he can finally exact his misplaced vengeance. Nazem, a powerful six-winged harpy mutant, caught Gradim's eye in full brochure. Captivated by her lethal beauty, he recruited the Vermilion Bird, beginning their fateful romance. Baraga, the Azure Dragon, was the master of an arch-dragon, a water dragon, to be exact, that Gradim had defeated. He was a warrior getting on in years, but his abilities put him squarely in the middle of the Imperial Knights. Finally Gazel, the Black Tortoise, had control over a Lorelei, an exceedingly rare rock sprite. A priestess from a foreign tribe, she enjoyed mastery over a variety of magical arts. She joined Gradim after he defeated her Lorelei. These three generals came from three different backgrounds, but they all had one thing in common: their strength. Nazem was Demon Lord level, for example, ready to potentially awaken at any moment. And the monsters that served Baraga and Gazel were both Calamity level threats, putting the two of them at the head of the Magical Beast Division in fighting ability. 3 centuries ago, the former bandit Gradim swore fealty to Emperor Rudra after his defeat. Though he climbed the imperial ranks, he secretly plotted to assassinate the emperor and seize the throne. Oblivious to the marshal's true power, Gradim's treacherous ambitions were transparent to his masters. They used him as a tool, but now, that fragile balance has finally shattered. It can't be. I had no idea the marshal was Velgrynd the Flame Dragon. I can't win against that kind of power. She is truly fearsome, well beyond even my strength. This was truly something on a different dimension, something he discovered before he could ever hatch his plot. And for that stroke of incredible luck, Gradim thanked the gods up above, even though he didn't believe in any of them. So Gradim changed his mind on matters. He would need to defeat Velgrynd someday, he thought, but it would require careful, step-by-step preparation. Knowing that, he decided to focus on building his military name instead, for the time being. Besides, if anything, this was expedient for him. Gradim's wild instincts were telling him that his awakening was near. Intuitively, he knew he was close to attaining power greater than anything before it. The same was true for Nazem, who always fought alongside him. The exact conditions for awakening were uncertain, but the time was undoubtedly near. That was another reason why Gradim was seeking out any battlefield he could find, and now, laid out before him, was a field full of victims to prey upon. How could he not feel intense joy at the sight of it? He saw a legion of worthy enemies across the battlefield, some giving the impression of massive powers, and the more he defeated, the stronger his faction would become. Ha ha ha. Let the merry feast begin. And just as Gradim expected, or even more so, the battle was growing more intense by the minute. The three generals serving Gradim moved according to the purposes of their lord. Their eyes searched for the strong, and now they found it. Whoa, that's King Gazel. Beating him would most assuredly boost my fame. Trying to hoard the best pickings for yourself. You'd better leave something good for Sir Gradim, or you know what kind of mood he'll be in. King Gazel's bravery was known far and wide. Anyone who defeated him would most assuredly become a dominant figure. Baraga's warrior heart raged inside of him. But it was Nazem who felt obliged to stop him. Nazem knew that Gradim was on a personal hunt for King Gazel, so she advised Baraga to give it up. And besides, defeating Gazel would do wonders for Sir Gradim's power. There's no way we can let such a golden opportunity slip by us. That summed up her true intentions, and even for Baraga, serving his master Gradim came first. Besides, Gazel was already wounded to begin with, and as a warrior, he feared being accused of cowardice. Best to play it safe, then, and defeat some handier enemy nearby. Alright. Hopefully overwhelming King Gazel will help Sir Gradim grow in strength. Gazel smiled at Baraga. Hehehehe. Don't worry. You'll find many other stout foes here. Maybe not as many as you wished for, but you should find it satisfying nonetheless. And she was right. The battlefield was crawling with powerful figures. Braga nodded at his companion. There was no need to panic, and Nazem agreed. Tee-hee-hee. Sir Gradim is correct. I'm sure the time of awakening is close by indeed. I, Nazem the Vermilion Bird, am bound to be the first to become a true demon lord. Aren't you trying to hoard the best pickings now, Lady Nazem? Now, calm down. I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing. Sir Gradim can focus on King Gazel, and in the meantime, we can run as wild as we please. Nazem spoke for everyone present. I'll take that weakened lizard, then. The Dragonutes are still quite alive and threatening, and I think he's their leader. Striking him first is bound to crush their will to fight. In that case, I'll take that sassy-looking lady over there. Anyone who flies through the air without my permission deserves to be taken down a peg. Hee. And I will destroy that golem, then. Time to give it some personal insight on just how powerful a Lorelei is. The three generals deployed, marking their prey with arrogant certainty. Gradim singled out King Gazel, who lay motionless following his defeat by Kondo. Seeking to finish the weakened king, the general moved in, foolishly counting his victories before the battle had even begun. I see you are King Gazel. I am Gradim, Commander Gradim, leader of the Empire's most powerful magical beast division. And I have come to take your head. This was beyond cowardice. It was nothing short of truly despicable, in fact. But for Gradim, it was purely justifiable. The way his creed went, any means that achieved his goal were above board. So Gradim swooped down upon King Gazel, but there was someone in his way. It was Gabil the Dracolord, a dragonute with reddish-purple scales that glowed with electricity, someone previously written off as down for the count. Gwahahaha. I have returned. And your disrespect for King Gazel cannot go unaddressed. Tisk. You'd better stay out of my way, you cursed lizard. Gradim watched in shock as a revived Gabil decimated his elite guards with overwhelming strength. Forced to step onto the battlefield himself, the general's path was suddenly blocked not by a foe, but by an urgent magical transmission from Major General Zamdo. We were in trouble. Reporting on the local situation, the Demon Lord Rimuru has done something terrifying. We must keep His Excellency safe at all costs, and so we're requesting reinforcements here at once. It really wasn't the time for this, Gradim thought, but he managed to swallow the words down. What happened? He drew this impossibly enormous summon gate. What are you talking about? I'm telling you that he's summoned hundreds of demons, all greater demons or higher. And they've been given physical bodies, too. Each one is above an A in fighting rank, but now they're acting as an organized fighting force. The frenzied concern in Zamdo's excited voice indicated just how unusual this situation was. But Gradim remained unconvinced. The Demon Lord Rimuru had done something, yes, but the Empire still had Velgrynd on his side. There was no way a rabble of demons could defeat her, so he failed to see what the big deal was. The real threat was right here, the force opposing Gradim, and he really wanted to focus on that. We're in the middle of a battle here. You're gonna have to handle it with what's available at hand. Gradim practically spat out the words as he tried to end the call. But Zamdo's strained voice stopped him. But sir, we're dealing with a truly apocalyptic demon army. They're far stronger than regular Imperial soldiers. Nonsense. You've got both Lady Velgrynd and the Imperial Guardians with you. They had only one airship deployed over there, the Imperial flagship, but it was manned by the very best forces of the Empire. Gradim couldn't see why they couldn't do anything without his team on hand. That was natural enough of a reaction, and nobody near Gradim could blame him for it. This time, they had simply picked the wrong enemy to mess with. Yes, we do have Lieutenant Kondo and the Imperial Knights with us, but the Demon Lord's main officers are here, and we've got our hands full dealing with them all. Their main officers. No way, thought Gradim. Taken by Gabil's power, Gradim realized a chilling truth. The Dragonute wasn't even part of Rimuru's Big Four. Of Benimaru, Shion, Diablo, and Gopta were ranked even higher, then the true elites of Tempest possessed strength far beyond his comprehension. And that's not all. I know it's hard to believe, but the Demon Lord Rimuru has committed an abomination that no one could ever have imagined. I know not how he did it, but he has evolved this entire army of demons. Do you understand me? Hundreds of demons, powered up to the equivalent of archdemons. This really was starting to transcend all common sense. Gradim didn't want to believe it, but Major General Zamdo wasn't the kind of man to joke around. He was serious, meticulous, and Gradim had no choice but to believe him. They now had several hundred Calamity-class monsters released on the battlefield. I see. Yes, Zamdo, I certainly understand your concern. Ah, thank you. So please, consider my request for reinforcements. With that last sigh of relief, Zamdo ended the call. Gradim pondered for a moment. Outnumbering your opponent meant nothing if you couldn't outclass them in quality. That was the law of war, and that was why Gradim took such great pains training his forces. If it were only demons, they might be able to manage well enough. But with 2 of his 3 generals down, it was dangerous to be optimistic. If it were Gradim's force alone, he'd just be marching them to their slaughter. Tisk. Did I make a tactical mistake, treating him as a mere demon lord? I may survive this along with the Empire's upper echelons, but we lose all of our rank and file soldiers to a man, no doubt. And if that's the case, it was too late for regrets. All that remained was to do what he could. And Gradim still had one more forbidden skill to tap.